Have you ever questioned your potential? Have you ever thought to yourself, I'm going to do this particular thing, and then you question it and you go back and forward like the waves going back and forward. It's like, in the end, this thing that you'd chosen specifically to do, and then you've gone back on your word to yourself. This is really common for a lot of people, and it's not your fault. It's just that we haven't been taught how to be really decisive with our decisions. And today's video is a bit of a different one, talking about running and decision making. So, love to welcome you to this channel. My name is Vicky Lord, and um, it's a funny story how this video came into being, actually, because I decided to start running for my actual health, not for not for a mindset thing, not for any personal transformation. I just thought I needed to run for my health so that I felt really good and healthy and full of energy. And what was really funny when I started running is that I realized I actually had a really weak mindset. I could hardly even make it up one hill because I was doing hill running. And when I was running up the hill, I was like, okay, I'm pretty unfit. And then all these thoughts started just trailing through my mind, and I was really aware of the weakness of my mind. So that's when the connection between running and a really strong mind came into my awareness. And I don't know if you've ever been a runner before, or maybe you've been like me and you've observed runners, and it's like a really sweaty sport. You're like, why are they putting all that sweat and grit into it? But the reality is that they actually feel amazing. So I wanted to give you a few tips today, in case you wanted to choose to work on yourself and incorporate a bit of exercise in there as well. So I've got a few tips today on actually some reasons why you might want to incorporate running into your days. And one of them is that it's for a challenge for yourself. And when you challenge yourself, it will show up what areas of life you need to work on for yourself. So we're always growing or decaying. It's a natural part of life. Even the plants, they either grow or they decay and they go back into the earth. Human beings are the same. We're either growing or we're decaying in every area of our life, in our mindset, in our body. And so challenging yourself is a great way to grow. So when I started running and I realized that this weak mindset was there, that was an opportunity for growth. So, and it takes determination. So you'll see when you start the commitment of running, you'll see the areas of your life that are weak and need some improvement. And it's always a positive. We can look at all of this with a real positive mindset. So my son started running with me. He's 14 years old, and I didn't start running until later in life. And my 14-year-old, so at first I was struggling just all by myself, and then my 14-year-old is like, I'll come and run with you, mum. So he came and he starts running up this hill, and he just got to the top like in a fraction of the time that I did. And when he got to the top, I was like, this is a real metaphor for life. Some people will make it to the top like faster than you, and then you'll still be chugging away down the bottom. But the main lesson here is that you don't quit. You just keep going, because in life, there's winners and losers, and it's your choice. It's your responsibility for your own self if you want to make it to the top as well. And I decided to make it to the top. I was way slower than him, but I had the mindset that I will not quit. I refuse to fail, and that's what made me become the winner. And that's totally possible for you too. So that's the first thing, is challenging yourself. And the second thing that is amazing when you start to run or you add a challenge to your days is it boosts your mental health. There's this thing that's called the runner's high, and it's like going to a natural euphoria, and it makes your body feel really, really, really good. And so when you run, it sends oxygen all throughout your body, and oxygen is important for brain health and for artery health and making you feel really good. So that is tip number 2 or bonus number 2 of running. Releases energy, and one of the mantras I use while I'm running is I'm so healthy, I'm full of energy, and repeating that in your mind and having the oxygen go through your body feels really good. So the next one is happiness. Running can, like I just mentioned, releases the endorphin of dopamine, which is happiness. And when you run, when you get to the point of the runner's high, you get really creative and you start to think of ideas that you never thought of before. And these amazing ideas will start flooding to you, and you can end up with ideas that you never had before. You're like, wow, that was a good one. And that came from working on yourself, which was the challenge. And then you get this natural high that lets you get all new creative, and creativity is the beginning of life. We're all creative beings. It's inside every single one of us. And when it comes, it is so natural, and you will feel amazing and unstoppable with your vision and with your creativity. So the way to unlock the creativity in you is when you've been running, and then you run until you feel the runner's high, the euphoria. And then once you feel it, you start to dream, and you're like, wow, you dream and you start to design the life that you want to live. And then I have a phone with me or a pen and paper. And so then when that moment comes and you've got the inspiration, you start to write it down and keep it in your mind. So I'm excited for you to add some running and creativity to your days. So 5 tips if you're new to running, like I was a few weeks ago. What I found is 5 tips for your running. So 1 is to choose a high quality water to drink. I've got a water filter on my kitchen sink. It's worth looking into drinking really fresh, clean water, because it's going all throughout your body. And yeah, water is like God's elixir for health. So we should be drinking it every day. So a good quality water is key. Number 2 is to keep the electrolytes up. So we get electrolytes. We lose it when we exercise, and we get electrolytes through fruit, and we get it also through salt. So you can use Celtic salt and put a little tiny bit in your water bottle so that you keep the electrolytes going with you. And the 3rd tip for when you're starting out running is to keep the running at the top of your mind. Sometimes we get so busy that it becomes the last thing in the back of our mind. And what we want to do is keep it at the front of our mind, so that when our day gets busy, we're like, how can I incorporate this running into my day? And if you keep it at the top of your mind, you'll find which part of the day works best for you, if it's early morning or late afternoon or in your lunch break in the middle of the day. So keeping it at the front of your mind. And then have a pen and paper ready for you. This is tip number 4. Have a pen and paper so that when the time comes and you've been running and you get that runner's high, you can write it down, the dreams and the visions and the desires and the inspiration and the people you want to help, and how you want to help yourself, how you want to take your family's nutrition to a new level, and all these wonderful, amazing ideas that come. So have that pen and paper or your phone ready to write it in. And tip number 5 when you're starting out for running is to celebrate yourself. Because at the end of the day, you've done this thing, like when you make the bed, you've just made the bed, hooray. Same as when you're running. So when you finish the day and you're laying down, you put your head on your pillow, you can say, Vicky, I'm really proud of you. You did your jog today and you feel amazing. You're so healthy and full of energy. Congratulations. Congratulating yourself goes a long way. So one of the questions, I want to leave you with 3 questions to ask yourself. So when you're just starting out, is what time of the day best suits my daily run? Once you figure that out, then it will become a non-negotiable for you. You'll be able to tell your family, hey, I'm having half an hour each morning to go for a jog, and they'll understand. And then how can I add more water to my day? Do I need to invest in a water bottle? or what kind of water am I going to start drinking? And then what mindset do I want to work on in my challenge? Is there a particular area of life that I want to work on? And that can be whatever area of life you're working on right now, whether it's having more boldness or more courage in a career, or having to have a business conversation, and running will help you get the clarity of mind to go and do that. So yeah, I hope that helps for people who are going to start incorporating running. Like I said at the beginning, I started running later in life. It wasn't one of my early things that I started. My oldest was 21, and then my middle son was 14, and then I had a 10-year-old. And yeah, it's been fun. So if you wanted to start running and you don't know where to start, I've got a free happiness challenge. It's also used as a wellness jumpstart, and it has a 7-day tick and flick sheet, so it makes it really simple for you. You can click on the link below, and happy running.